Fox News Alert and live to Capitol Hill as we await a vote on a bill to reform our nation's prison systems. The First Step Act would allocate $50 million a year for 5 years on programs to reduce recidivism, allow some prisoners to earn credits to end their sentences early, mandate that prisoners be placed within 500 driving miles of their families, and help formerly incarcerated individuals get IDs after release, and it would ban shackling women who are pregnant or have just given birth, which seems obviously that we need to change that. Joining me now, the congressman who introduced this bill, Doug Collins, Republican of Georgia, who sits on the House Judiciary and Rules Committees. So this bill, do you think it will pass today? And what do you think the immediate effect might be for people out there?
Well, yeah, it's good to be with you. And yes, it will pass today, and we'll send it on to the Senate where Senator Corner and Senator Whitehouse have the identical version over there, and we can get ready to see that work in the Senate. This affects people today. As my partner in this, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic lead co-sponsor, says, this helps people incarcerated today. This helps those who are without hope, sitting in cells today, saying, how can we help them get the skills they need to get back into society and not come back to jail? That is the things that we're looking at.
Well, part of the opposition to this is not that they don't think they would do good things. It's that they're afraid that if this bill is passed, that you wouldn't get overall sentencing reform that they want. Take a listen to Jerry Nadler, the congressman from New York, who just spoke earlier.
Despite the bill's good intentions, the new incentive system for pre-release custody credits could exacerbate racial biases, and unlike previous criminal justice efforts, is not balanced with the necessary reforms to our federal sentencing system. I wholeheartedly support certain provisions in the current version of the bill, such as expanding time credits for good behavior, banning the shackling of women prisoners, and enhanced compassionate relief. But unfortunately, these good provisions do not outweigh the potentially harmful provisions contained elsewhere in the bill.
Congressman, could you tell me, how would you defend the bill, especially when it talks about the biases that could exacerbate the problems? That's according to Nadler.
Well, I think what you also have to understand is what Nadler says is may do this. He doesn't have a good answer. In fact, right now he's voting no to keep so that women will still be shackled while they're giving birth or recently give birth. He's voting no to compassionate release. He's voting no to fixing the problem of good time credit. He's voting no against all of the good that he's talked about on the possibility of something that he determines may be bad. Capitol Hill is about the art of the possible. The president has laid forth and saying it's time for redemption. It's time to give the tools to these inmates so that when they get out, they can have productive lives. It's beyond me to see why someone would want more, which I'll do. I would like to see sentencing reform and other things. But this is about the art of the possible. And to vote no today, let's make it very clear. You're voting no and saying that you support these policies because you're not willing to move forward on a bill in which we have before us right now.
You say it will pass the House, and tell me about your plans to try to help get it through the Senate, which is always a little bit more difficult.
Well, we've already started. Senator Corner and Senator Whitehouse have been stalwarts on this. They understand that we would like to see more. They would like to see a bigger bill. But at this point in time, again, it goes back to what we said about the art of the possible. In dealing with the administration, the president has said he supports this. Jared Kushner has been a great help in helping getting the administration on board. The House and the Senate have been working intricately together. I think we're going to see a good result when we get over there. There may be some dealings in the legislative process, but we feel very good about getting it out of the House and getting it to the Senate.
In your home state today, there's a primary election. I know that social issues are certainly important on the Republican side of things. Is this something that you think should be a part of the Republican platform going forward? I mean, it really smacks to me, reminds me of compassionate conservatism. Seems to make a lot of sense if we want to help people actually not return to prison after they do their time and they get out.
Why would we not want to not them, let them, give them the tools to not come back to prison? Look, over 90% of the people who go to prison will come home. The question then becomes, and what I have said many times, is an M&M issue. It's a money and morals issue. The state of Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas, Kentucky, many of these in New York and California have done this to where we see not only a savings in our incarceration dollars, but we're seeing a better recidivism rate where they come home and they get jobs. They become mothers and sons and daughters and husbands again. This is something that we can fight. Yes, this is something we need to come forward on because this is what conservatives believe. Conservatives believe in redemption. Conservatives believe in a second chance. Conservatives believe that government ought to do what it's supposed to do and give people the tools to be all that I believe God created them to be.
All right, Congressman Doug Collins, thanks for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Good to see you.